to LA. Game of the night last night. The Harbaugh brothers facing off for the third time. It was John, it was Jim, but mostly it was about the quarterbacks, Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson. Early, it's Justin and Jeff. They're not going to get him.
No, great job. Everything's covered on the back end. Pull the ball down, get inside. You see it fired up, walks it in, not untouched.
Yeah, but they wouldn't score again for a very long time. Meanwhile, Lamar keeps it, and then Neek, the move on the goal line.
A little hezzy action to get in there. Lamar just looks so relaxed all season long, even when he's at the 1 yard line scoring a touchdown.
Ravens get it to 10-7. Now, wait a minute. They're going for it on 4th and 1 from their own 16.
From where?
Line.
From where?
Their own 16.
Good gracious. Aggressive.
When you got a Super Bowl ring already, it's easy to make these one a call.
Job security.
That was Mark Andrews with the sneak, and then it leads to this. Oh, what a catch by Rashad Bateman.
Oh, outstanding catch. My man, Christian Fulton, was having a rough night, but this is great concentration, and Bateman pulls it in for a big play.
That's great coverage, too.
Third quarter we go. Good game. Ravens up 17-16. Another 4th down. This one 4th and 1. Derrick Henry, he will get it. And then some, Jeff.
This is it. Unintended, expected, explosive plays. Who do you give it to? That big beast in the backfield. Let him go make plays. He was phenomenal last night.
140 yards for Derrick Henry, and then Mark Andrews. How about the catch in the back of the end zone?
Outstanding, yeah. When you trust a guy like that, you'll give him a chance, and it'll pay off more times than not when he's as talented as Mark Andrews.
Ravens go for the 2, don't get it. So it's 23-16. Chargers very much in it. Under 11 minutes to go. This is on a 3rd and 6. This is a critical drop.
This is brutal. You're one. Can't have it.
First round receiver. You got to receive it.
You got to receive it.
He did not receive it, and then on the ensuing drive,
He received it.
Justice is served. That's Justice Hill, and they're not going to get him. John Harbaugh improves to 3-0 against his younger brother, Jim. Ravens win it 30-23. Lamar, $177, 2 passing touchdowns. He ran for another. There are John and Jim getting together. This is a third meeting. Lamar Jackson continuing to shine under the lights in his career. He has posted an astounding 20-5 record, throwing 50 touchdowns in primetime games since the 1970 merger. No starting quarterback has a better win percentage in those games than Lamar Jackson. And yet, as we sat this morning, broke bread, and discussed this game, it was not Lamar Jackson, it was not Derrick Henry that made you, Graziano, feel the most good about the Ravens coming out of last night.
Yeah, because I already felt good about both those guys. But the defense for Baltimore last night looked a lot better than it has for much of this year. You saw in those highlights, most of the time, Justin Herbert couldn't find anybody open downfield. Zach Orr, their first-year defensive coordinator, was sending blitzes with defensive backs at the appropriate time. Just looked like they had a better plan, better execution on defense than we've seen from Baltimore this year. If you're thinking about them for the Super Bowl, that's what's encouraging from last night.
Yeah, and they started kind of slow. It was a bit of a rough start for that defense, giving up that opening drive touchdown. They bounced back and played really well. I would like to be really encouraged about these back-to-back good weeks from the Ravens defense. However, they aren't facing the type of receivers that normally give them trouble. So we'll see as they go forward if this defense stays.
The ones that make catches?
Yeah,
is that what we're talking about? To actually make a catch when it's on 3rd down?
Does present a different kind of challenge.
It is. It's very difficult.
But what they faced in back-to-back weeks now, and the Steelers and now the Chargers, are teams that want to bludgeon them. The Ravens are not going to be bludgeoned. The Ravens have been thrown on, and so the teams that can pick them apart.
Explosive plays down the field, pushing the ball down the field. Herbert did not do that last night. But again, you don't have anybody that you're looking at going, hey, I'm really scared of this guy taking the top off. They allowed them to play more aggressively on defense. So I was kind of like Neek. I thought it was kind of as expected. They played good, but it was as expected.
The fortunate thing for the Ravens is there aren't a bunch of those teams in the AFC that will make the playoffs and make a run. Like Jamar Chase is the guy you have to worry about, and they may not even make the playoffs. Amari Cooper, he's a really good receiver, but he's not that type of guy, and we all know the woes that the Chiefs have with, they might make the playoffs, but we all know that the difficulty the Chiefs have with making with a receiver changing the game. So we'll see. The Ravens aren't bad. They've been good at stopping the run, even without Roquan Smith.
I'm just trying to look on the bright side. You guys are always so negative on Tuesday morning.
I mean, it's gloomy. Look out there, man. They got to go with the
state.
I will say this: on both sides of the ball, I felt like this was they executed their game plan the best of the season.
Here we
go.
And
without their middle linebacker,
without Roquan Smith.
Let's just do it.
But let's be real. What did they do that's different? What happens when they win and when they lose? What's the difference?
They give the ball to Derrick Henry.
I mean,
run the ball.
I'm Captain Obvious. I'm not sure.
I thought I saw a 50-yard touchdown throw to Rashad Bateman.
That was
last week.
Don't you realize that was made possible?
Did you see on the drive after they were down 10 that Henry had 3 10-plus yard rushes, explosively? Did you see the 50-plus yard that Hill hits? You know why guys one-on-one on the back end? Because everybody's up playing in that box. It matters. When you rush it for 13 times, you're going to give it up to the Steelers. When you rush it 37 times, you're probably going to win a lot of games. I'm not saying that's the formula, but it's 100% the formula.
The bottom line of it is this. The formula for what? If we saw the two brothers coaching each other last night, the Chargers are probably a year or two away. Jim is just getting there and building something. For John Harbaugh's Ravens, it is now or never. And if you don't believe me, just listen to Troy Aikman after the game last night.
This season is only going to be judged based on what they do in the playoffs. And for them, it doesn't matter about making the playoffs, AFC championship game. They've got to go win a Super Bowl. And they've got a 2-time league MVP, maybe a 3-time by the time they get into the postseason, and they haven't been able to capitalize on it.